One of the biggest gaming expos of the year is currently going down in Germany, of all places. Gamescom is in full swing, and while I haven't been able to check out as much coverage as I would like to, what I have seen out of it, actually pretty impressed by. And I'm sure we're going to be talking about the aftermath of that in the very near future. A lot of it, I'm seeing some positive stuff, not being facetious at all. This is obviously in stark contrast of what I'm seeing in the direction that a new and improved games industry is taking, and especially you take a look at the overwhelming success of Black Myth Wukong when they are eschewing all of these stupid tropes. To see a trailer like this, okay, from a studio that has tried and failed before with this strategy, okay, this is Don't Nod, the goofs behind the Life is Strange quote-unquote franchise, decide to double down on the worst aspects of that, come out with quite possibly one of the wokest trailers you are likely to see anytime soon. I'm not going to play through all of it. We need a little bit of this for context, because I want you to see some of this, and I also want you to wonder why on God's green earth anybody would be signing up for this stuff when it was going out of style years ago. Because what, this is the first thing that you want to see? Okay, cool, you have branching dialogue with strong, diverse woman of color, who just has that same disposition on her face. It's like, okay, cool, you want a strong protagonist, or you want a strong character that's in there. Strong does not equate to smelling a fart. Like, what's with that expression, bro? But anyways, I'm just wondering how long into this trailer it's gonna take in order to find a guy, because you've got slightly pudgy female, you've got Uncle Paul approved character design right there, more chicks kicking rocks, I guess, playing games. It's interesting. You got a little band that's going on right here, and more strong, diverse characters. Not a lot of gameplay, but a very engaging story, I guess, for some female Goonies gimmick. Bloomin' Rage. Oh, it's a throwback to the 90s, guys. It's gonna be so great. Lost Records, Bloomin' Rage, 2-part joint starting at the beginning of the year. That's why they're releasing it in Black History Month. They want to maximize that audience with a point-and-click game. Yeah, for sure, 100%. But you would release that trailer, okay? You guys would go forward with that game when you had a feeler game that's basically cut from the same cloth, right? This is another game about a theoretical band that's out there with a very diverse cast of characters, formed up by a strong female protagonist of color, and well, it's not going over all that well, okay? We have Dustborn right here, and it's the wokest game ever, and in seeing some of the promotional material, I don't know if it's the wokest game ever, but it's definitely in contention. It has abysmal player numbers on release day. To be fair though, okay, this is also the defense, right? There's a reason that Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 didn't perform that well at the box office. It ended up getting trounced by the release of Barbenheimer, okay? Don't mention that the film was abysmally written, and that if it had, a reasonable budget, it might have been able to turn a profit. Dustborn, hey man, it's just getting released at a bad time. Black Myth Wukong is coming out and totally dominating the space, right? Is that going to be the cope for this impressively poor player count? I think that's the best way that we can put it. And there you can see, oh yeah, at least there's a guy in that still shot, but you still have a band. What is this crap? Red Thread Games recently released a game, Dustborn, which has been described as the wokest game ever, and it has not even hit 100 concurrent players on its release date. Oh! Back in July, following the release of the game's trailer, a representative for the game conducted an interview with PSU and confirmed the entire game spawned out of a protest against Donald Trump. Oh my god. So you guys have been working on this since 2016, huh? Being elected president of the United States in 2016. Holy Christ. Representative was asked what were some inspirations during the early days of making the game. He responded, "For us, it always begins with the characters and the world." Well, that's a good place to start. Okay, I'm with you so far. Followed by the narrative. Oh no, you should probably go with gameplay for making a game. Yeah, just saying. We generally have an idea of genre, setting, mood, and tone, who the protagonists are. I thought you were focusing on the characters first. But okay, and then we build the game around that. Oh, see, you're also another one of these failed art school, failed film school dropouts that just think that you can backdoor your way into Hollywood by polluting the games industry. Ah, I see. Art direction, game mechanics, engine, specific features, all of that follows the world, the story, and most importantly, the characters. That's very different to how some studios operate, but Red Thread is first and foremost the storytelling studio. Yup, film school washouts. Color me surprised. We tell stories using game mechanics and interactivity. Yeah, there's a lot of games that do that. They just don't need to tout it because it's so obvious by their gameplay. You are just being heavy-handed with the message. And we try to do something fresh and different with every game we develop. Well, I've never heard of Red Thread Studios before. Maybe they've made some bangers before, but I doubt it. From there, he said, still, we wanted Dustborn to be an evolution of the work we did with Dreamfall Chapters, a third-person adventure with a strong cast of diverse characters in a vibrant, deep, and original world with some adventure game mechanics and lots of branching dialogue and stories. Yeah, it's another visual novel. Is that what you're telling me? Oh, but this time we also wanted to include combat action. Well, yeah, we wanted to include some gameplay in our video game, and that stays true to our storytelling heritage. There's also a bunch of features connected to the idea of weaponized words. Oh my god, and how words have powers to change the world. I want to die. This is so bad, bro. But there you have, there you have your cast of characters where you have a robot in the background, probably some trans dude because you can kind of tell by the hips. Just on the picnic table, the cuck who's probably an amputee or something like that. He's probably got a disability. You got your strong female protagonist, and then you've got diabetes over there with alopecia. Jesus. Well, not alopecia. Vitiligo. I'm sure somebody's probably afflicted, with the Jada Pinkett Smith disease in this game. Anyways, next a representative revealed that the game is inspired by the election of Donald Trump. Strap in, folks, or strap on in this case. The idea behind Dustborn's settings and characters was also influenced by a series of political events that deeply affected us all, beginning in the summer of 2016 and continuing until, well, today, unfortunately, because they're so mean. As game developers, we wanted to tell a story that felt relevant. Yeah, we're telling a story from 2016 and we want to keep it relevant. You people, your mind's broke. You're not creatives. You're zealots. Thematically timely. Okay. Oh, with a cast of characters that could more accurately represent our player base. Maybe it did. And the settings, and hopefully have some positive impact on the world. In addition to being an entertaining game. Well, I mean, if you want to be representative of your player base, do you have, I don't know, anatomically orked freaks playing the game? Like, look at the size of them dick beaters that chick has. Holy shit, bro. Like, what are we doing? There's some big old mitts on that chick, I think. As for what the game is about, the representative said, yeah, because we've heard a lot of this stuff. It's like it's very narrative based and we focus on characters, and the orange man is really bad. But it's about a lot of things. What's the game about? It's about a lot of things, like how police are bad and how diversity is our strength and why is nobody playing our game. It's mostly about keeping hope alive in the face of adversity, maintaining friendships in spite of conflicts, and about an awesome and terrifying power of words. Oh, God. It's also a story about being different, being an outsider, and being on the run from people who hate what you are. Oh, this doesn't exist in real life, bro. If you were going to try to make this setting, you wouldn't have it in America, or whatever kind of futuristic, the fascist America. You'd set it in a place that has a few less trees, looks a little bit less than the Pacific Northwest, unless you're trying to say something about the Portland area unintentionally. And you'd have it in a place that has a few more deserts. Just saying. And robots. Let's not forget about robots. It's all about robots. Sure it is, bro. It's also a commentary about how automatized the police force has been, because they're all bad. YouTuber Smash JT reacted to the game's trailer in an interview in a video titled Dustborn, the most woke game ever, releases next month. That the game's basis and it's a what this game's basis, it's a premise on, or upon, that's bad translation. Words are used as weapons of the power to change minds and used to politically push the agenda within the game. He also detailed, kind of feels off that the developers of the game are sending some sort of subliminal messages to the gamers. Hey, learn how to use words to fight against people and get your ideologies pushed across to them, which is exactly what gamers have been rejecting since gaming became a thing ever. Yeah, exactly. Most people have grown up and realized that, yeah, a bunch of people in this world, yeah, they're not going to like everything that you have to say, okay? People aren't going to just think exactly like you, and if you want to get your point across, you have to articulate your points to the best of your ability, and you're going to have to engage in open dialogue. But these people are so cloistered and sheltered and live in their little hug boxes, go to the schools that have ruined the game industry because, okay, people want to talk about, how bad games are written, but you don't want to get down to the core of this issue that by industrializing the game industry, by just having goofs go to a school to try to learn how to be creative, that at the end of it, they end up getting a master's in game design. The moment that those freaks started to overtake the industry and take it away from the guys who were passionate about making a game with a bunch of their buddies in their garage or in their basement, take a look at the original id Software as opposed to what they're doing today. You had people that were passionate about making games instead of passionate about making a difference and telling a diverse story. Industry was in a much better place. Wasn't having to be, misconstrued as being super popular and very well off by working in mobile games and their microtransactions, and then of course all of those live service whales that are out there. But in reality, how many games high on the vine? And what is Dustborn? Well, it's very much one of those, because you take a look at the Steam charts and what that Park Place has snipped out right there, 72 concurrent players at time of release. So that was the people that were excited about the game. And I have a more up-to-date visual for what we have right here. And yep, 81 is the all-time peak players now that we're a couple of days removed from the release of the game. Not even 100 players. Could change by the weekend, but really, I kind of doubt that, because word of mouth on this is absolutely atrocious. And it also has a stench of failure from the studio, because yeah, Dreamfall Chapters had an all-time peak of 1,711 concurrent players back in 2016. That's when they released their first game, and it's taken them this long come out with a follow-up. Yeah, we can see why you have to focus on trying to check as many boxes as you can. This is a money laundering operation, because there was no way in hell that your games were going to sell under 100 players, bro. Under 100 players for an actual game that people theoretically worked on. That's impressively poor. But it just goes to show you that games like this, Flintlock, Concord, Tales of Kenzara, there's not an audience for this. For as much as those freaks and the sycophants on social media want to tell you that, no, it's important, diversity is our strength, when in reality, when the rubber hits the road, when the cash needs to hit the register, these people don't show up. They'll retweet it, they'll like it, they'll scream about how all the bigots tanked the game, but when it's time to actually pony up, they're nowhere to be found. You're trying to chase a mythical audience, but there's a reason that you can't ever catch them, because they're so goddamn light, because they have no money in their friggin' pockets. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.